Look at this crowd. Thousands of furious students have taken to the streets, holding signs demanding answers, fighting for a future that feels like it's slipping away. This is all over the NEET UG 2024 medical entrance exam. A massive paper leak and impossible scoring irregularities have jeopardized the careers of nearly 2.4 million aspiring doctors across the country. But right in the middle of this genuine despair, a ring light clicks on. Social media creators have arrived, treating a national crisis like a trendy open-air production studio. To understand why this happens, you have to look at the math of social media. The platforms demand daily uploads. Creators are practically forced to become digital scavengers, constantly hunting for any high-traction event to feed the algorithm. When a national tragedy starts trending online, the human element evaporates. To the attention economy, a protest site is simply a free backdrop with built-in engagement. We call this the physical hijack. Creators show up to highly sensitive areas, using the heavy deployment of Delhi police and yellow barricades as a cinematic backdrop to shoot completely unrelated dance videos and lip syncs. Some even bring their own camera crews to hand out cheap packets of biscuits. It is charity performed strictly for the lens, and the cameras are quickly packed up the moment actual, frustrated protesters tell them to leave. You end up with highly niche food vloggers and daily lifestyle influencers arriving at places like Jantar Mantar. They aren't there to add to the discourse. They are there to siphon views from a trending political hashtag. On the exact same patch of pavement, you have students who are terrified about losing their life's work, standing shoulder to shoulder with people trying to boost their personal brand equity. Standing at a protest site used to imply political solidarity. Today, a location pin is often just a signal of an opportunistic content grab. This brings us to the content gap. These creators want the engagement of a political movement, but they skip the basic research required to actually understand the cause. You see clips of influencers aggressively chanting "Mahatma Gandhi is immortal" right in the middle of the crowd. The historical independence leader has absolutely zero connection to a 2024 medical exam leak. Others pivot to entirely unrelated, highly polarizing subjects. They start blaming the exam leak on religious tensions between Hindus and Muslims, injecting volatile talking points into an educational crisis purely to trigger algorithmic outrage. The platforms do not fact-check passion. The algorithm actively rewards the sheer volume of noise over the accuracy of the message, heavily incentivizing creators to be loudly and confidently wrong. You don't even have to show up to the protest to exploit it. Welcome to remote grifting, where creators capitalize on a movement from the comfort of their air-conditioned bedrooms. The timeline gets flooded with highly produced, tearful videos. Creators stare into their front-facing cameras and deliver overwrought performances, treating a national tragedy as a free audition tape for their acting careers. The lack of basic comprehension is staggering. You have influencers ranting on camera who genuinely seem to confuse NEAT, the acronym for the medical test, with neat alcohol. Then there are the political rants. Creators layer on heavy digital beauty filters and extreme makeup, pairing perfectly airbrushed faces with aggressive, expletive-laden attacks directed straight at national leaders. This is the perfect grift. Work-from-home activism allows you to harvest all the social clout of participating in a revolution while taking on absolutely zero physical or intellectual risk. It is easy to laugh at the absurdity, but this behavior inflicts real damage on the actual victims, the millions of students whose hard work is entirely sidelined. This chart shows the timeline of a trending hashtag's data volume. Look closely at how the solid block representing genuine student voices is rapidly compressed and overtaken by a massive flood of influencer content. This is algorithmic displacement. The cries for help are actively pushed out of the spotlight by highly engaged cringe videos. Some accounts even use the massive spike in traffic during these protests to post celebratory graphics about hitting new follower milestones. They treat political engagement exactly like a fantasy sports league. 15 years ago, social media was promised as a utopian tool that would democratize the voices of the oppressed. The reality we ended up with is wildly different. When a demand for justice is reduced to nothing more than a daily content quota for personal fame, the digital age doesn't aid the revolution, it just turns it into a cheap reality show.